Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. After hours after Lai Mohammed, one of the federal government spokesperson, traveled on a tour, went down to United States and changed the narrative. Of course, the resultant effects have started flowing in, where the U.S. Institute of Peace have described how Tinubu won Nigeria's presidential election and how he has grassroots grip and how PeterObi didn't have grassroots grip, but rather what he had was the youth followership and the elite following him. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu had money, had grassroots grip, and had affluence and had the followership of Nigerians. Of course, that alone has brought a lot of reactions to many Nigerians in diaspora, especially one of our very own Chimamanda, who have decided also to question the very reason why this particular organization have decided to give credible credence to the elections that most Nigerians are screaming and saying is not credible. Of course, the federal government have also replied Chimamanda over what she termed open letter to Joe Biden, the president of United States, and well-meaning word powers over what took place in Nigeria on the 25th of February 2023. We're going to go through all this in a jiffy. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, American President Joseph Biden and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak have come under fire from Nigerian author Chimamanda Adichie for congratulating President-elect Bola Tinubu. Adichie expressed her goals in an open letter to Biden published on The Atlantic on Thursday under the headline Nigeria's Hollow Democracy, in which she claimed that the U.S. president prioritize stability over democracy in Africa. She said, and I quote her, "How surprising then to see the U.S. State Department congratulate Tinubu on March 1st. We understand that many Nigerians and some of the parties have expressed frustration about the manner in which the process was conducted and the shortcomings of technical elements that were used for the first time in the presidential election cycle," the spokesperson said, and yet the process was described as competitive election that represents a new period for Nigerian politics and democracy. American intelligence surely cannot be so in-depth. A little homework and they would know what is manifestly obvious to me and so many others. The process was imperiled not by technical shortcomings but by deliberate manipulation. I hope, President Biden, that you do not personally share this cordial condescension. You have spoken of the importance of a global community for democracy and the need to stand up for justice and the rule of law. She added, a global community for democracy cannot thrive in the face of apathy from its most powerful member. Why would the United States, which prioritizes the rule of law, endorse a president-elect who has emerged from an unlawful process? She asked. I hope it will not surprise you, President Biden, if I argue that the American response to the Nigerian election also bears the faint tint of that word compromised, because it is so removed from the actual situation in Nigeria as to be disingenuous. Has the United States once again decided that what matters in Africa is not democracy but stability? Perhaps you could tell British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who quickly congratulated Tinubu, that an illegitimate government in a country full of frustrated youth and young people does not portend stability. Or is it about that ever effulgent nemesis China, as so much of U.S. foreign policy now invariably seems to be? The battle for influence in Africa will not be won by supporting the same undemocratic processes for which China is criticized. Wow! Talk about it being so loaded. It's an open letter to Joe Biden to everyone, every well-meaning world power, every country of the world, who seem to say that the elections that most Nigerians and the world power who have observed, especially international observers who came in to observe the election, did agree that it was flawed. It was marred. To make matters interesting is the fact that on that same day the presidential election held, the senatorial elections, didn't have any glitches, just the presidential elections, and it's so many things going on after the election. Can imagine so many propaganda being springing up here and there, and in all honesty, Chimamanda is asking, and he said this is a nice election that pertains stability as against democracy. With so many frustrated Nigerian youth who are demanding for better Nigeria, and you say this could be stable, don't you think that the restiveness of the youth could play out over time as events unfold? But let's find out what the federal government, has in reply for Chimamanda over the fact that she made an open letter, just as she is an American citizen. And this is what they got to say. The Nigerian politician and special assistant to President Buhari on digital communication, Bashir Ahmed, has reacted to Chimamanda Adichie's letter to Biden regarding the recently concluded presidential election in Nigeria. In his reaction, Bashir urged Chimamanda to tell Nigerians what she wants the United States of America to do as regards the election. He further urged all Nigerians to prepare for the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He made this known in a statement he released on his social media some few hours ago. In fact, today. Let me read it word for word so you understand what he meant. He said, look, so after the letter, should we now expect or wait for the United States to come and conduct a fresh election for us? Hilarious. Anyway, a good time to drop a reminder. Bola Tinubu's inauguration is less than 2 months. If your Ashebi is not yet ready, visit your tailor tomorrow sharply. Talk about sarcasm and belly pain. This is a case of pepper them gang. Alright, but let's look at this critically. Let's be truthful to ourselves. Yeah, these are international observers. Maybe sanctions can follow if they find the process flawed and Nigeria is not getting their mandate. Yes, it's possible. But what Bash is generally telling Nigerians or telling Chimamanda as a whole is that much as we want to cry to the international community, Nigeria is a sovereign state and they cannot, in all honesty, come and conduct fresh elections for us. So in other words, in summary, it is only Nigeria and Nigerians that can correct the abnormality in Nigeria. Full stop. This whole issue of going, yes, you could get international sympathy. It's only Nigerians in Nigeria they can correct the anomaly in our political space. Unfortunately, it's the bitter truth. You can run to international community maybe for sanctions, but in all honesty, the anomaly will remain. Except, of course, because we shouldn't forget that we're a sovereign state. So Nigerians should need to rise, okay, and look at the situations, critically, and demand for the possible change in a legal manner, in a lawful manner, in a legitimate manner. Look at the video trending. That didn't even say 1/15th of what APC said in 2015 and 2011. And they're shouting treason, treason, treason. That's to tell you the dimension of the kind of problem we found ourselves. In 2015, dollar was about 189, thereabout. How much is the dollar now? It clearly shows you where we are heading. And very soon they remove subsidy. The suffering is about to begin. And that story they said about giving borrowing money to cushion the effect by dashing Nigerians money. Look, we have a long way. Let's put it